The people ask you, what else have you done? You don't have an answer. They say, well, what's your website? And you don't have one. And so let's first make sure that if you're going to be a real estate investor, that you have a proper business set up. And I know most of them don't want you to do that in the beginning because their whole sales pitch is you don't need any money to get into real estate investing. You can do this with zero of your own money. Well, that's not entirely true.
Greetings, world builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth-building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building the community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified.
Welcome to Get Diversified. I am your podcast host this morning, Jacqueline Landry. Hello, everybody. And I have Bill Hook with me, and I'm going to try to give him the best introduction as possible. So first, let me say welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right. So Bill's been a full-time real estate investor for 13 years. While he specializes in large fix and flip projects, he has many buy and hold properties and is a PML, which is a private money lender. Bill fell in love with coaching, teaching, and mentoring. His focus these days, while continuing down the other paths that have been mentioned, has been building on investing education ecosystems. So, Bill, what did I forget in that introduction, or maybe add some color to that?
Well, I don't think you missed anything. I've been doing this for a long time. Your intro said I've been a full-time real estate investor for 13 years. It doesn't mean that I've only been doing it for 13 years. So I've been doing it. Well, I can't even remember when I looked at my first project. I think I've been investing in real estate before I knew I was investing in real estate. I didn't know what a real estate investor was. I was just doing it. And then at some point I decided to get serious about it and get some training. And I found the value in an education. And so I started my official education really learning, like your viewers are probably doing now, really learning about the process and what it was in early 2013. And then in late 2013, I was able to tell my boss his services were no longer required and became a full-time real estate investor at that point. I actually wrote a book about that process too.
What's the name of the book?
That's it. It's called Before You Quit Your Job. You can find it on Amazon, Before You Quit Your Job, on Amazon, available paperback. And what do you call it? Yeah, Kindle. So yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I've been full-time for a long time as well, but I really realized at some point that I thought my calling was real estate, but it's really in helping other people succeed. I'm far enough along. I'm semi-retired right now. Some people would say entirely retired, but I don't know what that means. I don't understand. Right. So yeah. I just do fewer houses now, I guess. But I fell in love with teaching other people and helping them succeed and finding where they want to go in life. And that's been very rewarding to me. And yes. that's my idea of success. So
fantastic. So let's actually talk about that. So you mentioned you have a coaching program out there. So talk to me a little bit about the 5 pillars of real estate. And I assume that delves right into your coaching program as well.
It does. So I worked on this for many, many years, but I guess it was in 2020 when COVID hit, I found myself with time on my hands and I really started thinking about real estate, and I started thinking about what we do and how we could do it better or what are we doing right now. And I started putting it into a system, and every guru program that I ever look at, they talk about the systems that they have. And then I get into them and I'm like, well, where are these systems? They they don't really seem, they just they'll tell you to do the same things, but I don't see where it's a system in there. I see they're just saying the first thing they say is market, market, market. You get out there, here's the marketing you should do. Buy this list, do this, go driving for dollars, do this, that, and market, market, market. And as the leads come in, then we'll teach you what to do with them. And to me, it's kind of a backwards thing. You're starting to get leads and information from all over the area or even outside the area in areas that you know absolutely nothing about. And you get a lead that looks good, but you haven't gotten your money lender yet. So you don't know how you're going to pay for it. And you don't have a crew. And the people ask you, what else have you done? You don't have an answer. And they say, well, what's your website? And you don't have one. And so it's kind of putting the cart ahead of the horse, but it helps sell programs. And so I looked at it and I said, before I get into the 5 pillars, let's first make sure that if you're going to be a real estate investor, that you have a proper business set up. And I know most of them don't want you to do that in the beginning because their whole sales pitch is you don't need any money to get into real estate investing. You can do this with zero of your own money. Well, that's not entirely true. You do have to have some of your own money.
You do.
You should be setting up a website. You should have business cards. You should have a logo. You should have your color, your branding picked out. You should know where you're investing. You should have a computer, a laptop, an iPad. You should be using Microsoft Office so you have professional documents. And you should have that all set up. And then you can start thinking about investing in real estate. And that's where I came up with the 5 pillars. I said, how do we really do it?
I think they're important concept and it's part of your coaching program. So it's great for people that are trying to get into real estate to know what the hell to do first and second. I've been in your shoes before. The only difference is I had a husband that was doing it before me. So he kind of knew these pillars or the process and what needed to happen first and second before I jumped into it.
I mean, people talk about the 3 pillars, the 5 pillars, there's pillars all over the place. So pillars naturally fell in. And the first pillar is market intelligence, the 3 intelligence pillars. Market intelligence is the first pillar, and that's knowing where you're going to invest in. Before you start investing, know what your farm area is. Where are you buying properties at? We don't buy properties in crappy areas. We buy houses in good areas. And this is not just about flipping. It's about rehabbing in general. So whether you're wholesaling, rehabbing, buy and holds, private money lending, anything you're doing, even commercial, whatever you're doing, you need to know where you're going to do it at. So the first pillar is market intelligence, being smart about where you're investing.
So Bill, I have a question on that. How are you using AI, that pillar?
I use AI a lot. And you can do something as simple as, hey, Claude, or hey, Chad, or hey, Grok, or whoever you're talking to, hey, find me, let's say I'm in Pittsburgh, because I am in Pittsburgh. Tell me the top neighborhoods in Pittsburgh for rehabbing properties. And it will go and find them and do a nice report for you. As simple as that. Because in Pittsburgh, there are over 70 neighborhoods within the city limits of Pittsburgh. So they're all in different stages. And you can then say, what is the average rehab profit in an area like this? Or if I'm going to buy and holds, which areas should I look at? And I've done this. And then I had built a little app that does this too, that actually researches properties for me. But I find that market using AI or doing whatever, just research, driving is the best way. Just we call it the windshield test. You do a windshield test on something. And that means driving through and looking at your windshield. The second pillar is asset intelligence. And so now that we know where we're going to buy, what are we going to buy? That's kind of your buy box. So building out your buy box. And I do have a buy box builder as part of my program that helps you do that. It gives you all the different parameters that you buy in. I buy houses from this date range to this date range, this many bedrooms to this many bedrooms, this many square feet to this many square feet. My buy box, for instance, says if the house is under 1,000 square feet, it's a kill. I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
If it's over 4,000 square feet, it's a kill. I don't look at it. So I never even see the ones that are outside my buy box. And I have a philosophy on that called you don't find deals, you filter them. So
Yeah.
you filter them through your buy box and through your market. And so you're only seeing the ones that are serious to you. Filter out the garbage. If you get rid of the noise, you're only hearing the things that are worthwhile to you.
Yeah.
So you
So,
know
so,
where.
so quick
Go ahead.
question on that. So why do you filter out, how do you come up with your buy box? Why is it that you filter out stuff that's over 4,000 and below 1,000 square feet?
I filter out below 1,000 because if I'm doing, and that's only my, I should have prefaced that, that's my fix and flip buy box. My rental buy box is different. I have two different buy boxes. The rental one I can go down to, I think 600 square feet. It'll go way down, and it'll do one bedrooms. But I was just saying, on my fix and flip, I don't go below 1,000 because owner occupants buy a house that they're planning on living in for a long time, even if it's their first home, and they don't buy houses that are that small. They also don't buy one-bedroom houses, and they typically don't buy two-bedroom houses. So my AI looks at two-bedroom houses and says, can it be a three-bedroom house? So it looks at the square footage of it, says, yes, it's two-bedroom, but I'm going to keep it in your filter list because there's enough square footage that you should be able to fit three bedrooms in this house. But the
Smart.
buy box itself is three bedrooms or more. Why do I filter out 4,000? It's a matter of economics. And that is everything that you do in a house is typically based on square footage. And so how much flooring are you going to put in? This many square feet. How much is the square foot? Boom. 1,000 square foot house might cost you $5,000 to put flooring in, and a 4,000 square foot house will cost you $20,000. So just the fact that it's 4,000 square feet means just to put flooring in, you're at $20,000. Just to paint it, you're at $12,000 or $15,000 to paint it. So your budget is already so high just based on square footage that you're going to have trouble being profitable on it. So that's why I
Love it.
picked those things.
Love it.
And how did I pick it? Purely experience. It's been there, done that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Exactly.
so now that you know where you're going to buy and what you're going to buy, the next pillar is financial intelligence. And financial intelligence is where you start looking at how is it affordable to me? Does this make sense? Am I looking at $20,000 in flooring, et cetera? So that's what I call the budget builder. Some people call it a repair estimator. I don't, because it's not an estimate of repairs. It's a budget that you're building for the house. So where does your budget builder come in? And that aligns with your ARV. So that kind of goes a little bit with it. Your asset intelligence is ARV after repair value. And then financial intelligence is is budget builder and a whole lot of other things in there. So where am I buying? What am I buying? Can I afford it? Right? Is it in the price range to make it affordable? Can this repair justify this after repair value? Boom, boom, boom. So then the next thing I look at is often overlooked. It's called execution intelligence. And what execution intelligence tells us is, can I do the job? I see the job, it makes sense, but do I
Right.
have the bandwidth to do this? Do I have the time?
Right.
Do I have the contractors? Can I line up the financing on it? Will I be able to execute it and actually make this happen in the right time frame? And so can I execute this? But the fifth pillar is a little bit ambiguous. It's what people have their hardest time wrapping their head around. And the fifth pillar is strategic intelligence. And what that means is it's not can I do it, it's should I do it? Because a deal can look really, really good. But at the end of the day, you might even make $100,000, $200,000 on the project, but it hurts your overall plan for your business. It wasn't in keeping with where you wanted to be 10 years from now. It doesn't help your business grow. It actually pulls you back. So yes, you made money, but what other ways did it hurt you? Did it keep you from doing other things? Did it change your reputation? Did it take too much of your time? And did it pull you off your beaten path that you wanted to be on? I have an example of one I did in an area of Pittsburgh that came about right at COVID. So I got shut down as soon as I bought this, and it was a massive project. I mean, massive. But
How
I
much in
bought it.
when you say massive?
What's that?
How much in rehab?
Back in 2020, it was about $300,000 in
Ooh,
rehab.
okay. Yeah, that's massive.
Okay. Massive in that, and so right now today there'd probably be a $500,000 rehab job. It was an historic home. I had to leave the exterior walls and tear down everything inside. It was brick on the outside. So I had to tear down everything. I left the brick walls, which wouldn't really stand by themselves. So we had to prop everything up and then build walls inside. I built a house inside these walls. And then we put pins in it and structurally cemented it to hold it back up and make it sound again because the walls were falling down anyway. So we built a house inside it and then put an addition on the back. COVID hit, we couldn't work, but it was such a great job. I bought this house for either 90 or 75, I think $90,000. I bought it for $90,000. We sold the house for $850,000. All right. So it was a big project, but it took 4 years. And the reason it took 4 years was because of COVID mainly, but then the contractor, he couldn't work either because he couldn't find people. You remember what happened. And so then we ran into permitting issues. We'd had a year getting an occupancy permit on it. So the city was bad. It was just bad all the way around. So that was a project we shouldn't have done. It made sense. Yes, we made over $200,000 on that project, but it didn't really make sense for us to do it. If I'd have not done that, I could have done 20 other projects with those resources, and I didn't. And they would have been shorter, so I wouldn't have been tied up in that COVID thing. So, yeah, that's strategic intelligence. It's understanding when you shouldn't do something.
Yeah. I bet you wouldn't change anything because that taught you a lesson, right? That's what made the fifth pillar, right? For those folks that are listening to be like, oh, shit, well, let me just make sure I pay attention to what Bill does and follow the blueprint so that I don't make any mistakes. And the reality is if it's that mistake or another one, it's gonna, you got to have your ups and downs. It's not always going to be perfect, even if you follow the 5 pillars to a T. So, my husband and I have been in real estate together for 5 years and him well before that. And there's always something that we're learning. And there's always something we say, well, maybe we shouldn't have done this because it wasn't a home run, or, hey, this taught us a good lesson. We actually, I don't know if we've actually talked about this before, but back in 2022, we invested in a lot of syndications. And out of the 16 deals, 5 of them were losing our money. And when you ask us, will we do that again? The answer is not with those people, but the lessons that we learned on those deals where we lost the money were some things that sometimes books can't teach. Right. So, hey, real estate is about taking risk and level of risk, but definitely educate yourself. Get Bill's book, get his coaching program so that you at least have a playbook to go by rather than just going, hey, I think I need to find a house and I have no idea what to do with it afterwards.
Yeah, and that happens more often than you think because, like I said, the guru programs of the world teach you to just go do it. And you'll hear it all the time. The Nike philosophy, just do it. Quit thinking about it, just do it. No, think about it. Think about it. It's a lot of money. And you're borrowing all the money and it's other people's risk. No, it's your risk. It's your money.
Yeah.
And you're
I actually, I just started a coaching program for women over 40. And she talks about, everything that we've built so far. And she goes, so your skyscraper is about this tall. And she was like, and how's that foundation that skyscraper is sitting on? And I was like, yeah, could be stronger. Probably made out of wood right now. Probably should be made out of cement. Should be made sturdier, right? And the whole point of that is, obviously, as we know, right? If your foundation is not strong and all you're doing is building, what's going to happen to that building? It's going to crash, right? So similar concept with your 5 pillars of real estate. It's, You need to start and follow a blueprint and stick with it. So in your coaching program, Bill, do you walk through the 5 pillars of real estate, like get into the details of those 5 pillars, or is it more than just that?
It's more, it's way more than that. And I should, to be transparent, we're just starting this coaching program. Could we take people in right now? Yes, we could. The infrastructure's in place. We have 10 coaches from across the country that are experienced real estate investors that do this, plus myself. My wife is very experienced at this, and she's a coach for another program and coach rep. So the coaching program is not officially launched yet, but are we doing it? Yes. And why is it not launched? Because I'm still recording things, but it is going to be an entire learning management system that starts with the 5 pillars and teaches you that. It also starts with, let's get your business set up. But as you coach, we have various ways we do it. We have part of the coaching program is you're going to get an app, and the app has the 5 pillars built into it. It's based on the 5 pillars, and it helps you go through a deal from start to finish. So the app is an integral part of the coaching. In that app, you actually own the data. My company, Professional Investor, is the company, professional-is.com. We don't ever see any of your data on any of your deals, ever. It's all stored on your own Google Drive, and it feeds the app to you. So if you want to get a coaching call, you can send your coach specific information, like you say coaching handoff, and you hand this off to your coach and he sees your deal or she sees your deal. Or secondly, send my stats, and it shows the coach what you've been doing over the last month or 2 weeks or week. How many deals have you evaluated? What was the results of those deals? So it looks at everything you're doing, hands that to your coach. So your coach is going to coach you based on what you have actually done or want to do. But we have 3 levels of coaching. So there is the launch coaching, which is introductory, and that is, I don't know anything, help me get started. And then there's the momentum coaching, which is more like, I've got some stuff going, let's help me make it better. And then there's precision coaching, which is, I've got an established business, I need to make it better. Help me with my strategic end of it and make it good. And they're half-hour calls, 45-minute calls, or hour calls with coaches who are certified in launch, momentum, or precision. And that is based on a philosophy of what is coaching. And if I may, people misunderstand coaching. And what is coaching? And people will say, well, coaching is teaching people how to do the business. Well, no, that's teaching, right? Well, what is coaching? Is coaching then asking questions and letting the student figure things out for themselves? Well, yes, it is in a certain way. So that's another level of coaching. And then there's a third level of coaching, which is mentoring. Is mentoring coaching? Well, yes, it is, but it isn't. And so the first level is teaching, the second level is coaching, and the third level is mentoring. But you have to understand that neither teaching, coaching, or mentoring is a thing. All of those are modes. So a coach needs to be able to go from a teaching mode to a coaching mode to a mentoring mode in the same call.
Yes.
And a mentor, you don't even have to be smart to be a mentor. A mentor is basically just being able to share your experiences and discuss what their experience is, because it's not about you, it's about what they're going through. And you can help them with what they're going through by what maybe you have gone through or what you've heard about. And it's really talking about situations. But the first one, the launch, is where most people start, and that is teaching. Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. You have to be taught. And then you go. So we have a fast track for that, which is another part of the coaching program, which is called it's our 3-day workshop. It's our Pro IS, Professional-IS. It's our Pro IS 3-day workshop. And it is different than other boot camps that you've been to in that it teaches the 5 pillars of real estate over 3 full days, which is a day more, 50% more than other classes are. They're all 2 days. This is 3 days. But it includes in the middle of it an actual live bus trip where we go look at investment properties and I teach you how to evaluate them.
Mhm.
How do we do that third pillar, the financial intelligence? We teach you how to do it and how to use our app, which has that budget builder built right into it, that lets you walk through and in 15 minutes be able to do a budget builder on a property and all the other things. So you can actually walk in, put something in the app and know whether it's a deal or no deal based on your market, your buy box, and everything else within 30 seconds. My program will tell you whether it's a likely deal. And then in 15 minutes at a property, you'll know it's a deal. And
Sure.
it's built in such a way that we actually teach you how to talk to customers as well, sellers of properties, and how to get them to accept your offer. Because I don't make offers. I just show them what the facts are. I turn my app around, say, here you go. And this is it. Where do you think where should your price be?
Yeah.
And it's an eye opener for them.
Yeah. I do that as well. Here's my underwriting tool, piece of paper, computer, whatever it is. And hey, this is why I came in at this number.
Right.
This is
So
what
that
makes for me as a real estate professional, as a real estate investor. And this can make sense for you too if you structure it this way, right? Which is another piece of the pie is structuring those investment deals.
Yeah, and I love teaching, as I told you. So I looked at it and I said, well, I can't if this is my calling in life, this is what God wanted me to do, was teach other people, then I'm not in it for the profit. I can't be in it to make $1 million. And I know people say the money is in the education, right? Not in doing the deal. Well, I disagree. If the money is in the education, then you're probably charging too much for it. My thoughts are people need to have access to this. If I want to help people change their lives, how can I have them do it for free? And so I put free courses out there on my thing. So not actual coaching, but actual courses. The first courses to get involved in it are free. You don't you just have to sign onto the site, no credit card, no nothing, no cancel later, just do it. And I also made a free version of my app that you can use. Does it do all the things? No, it doesn't. And a lot of the stuff, the AI and different things that I've built into my program actually cost me money every time you pull a property. And so we have something called pro credits where you can pay as you go to do that rather than me do it and then charge you for it. So you can actually get involved and start doing it for free. And then afterwards, as you decide, yeah, this is something I want to do, could you do it? Yes. But we also have a rule at ProIS. Our rule is fulfill, don't funnel. So it's never a funnel. We are not a funnel. So you don't get involved with this and then we're selling you that. And you bought that and now we're going to move you. But yeah, you can do this. But yeah, our premium program does this. And then we have our ultimate program and you just keep getting funnel to funnel to funnel from sale to sale to sale to sale. Our rule is we don't sell you anything in anything you ever get from us. There's never a sales pitch in any of it. And even in our workshops, if we bring people in, the rule is you can inform people about things, but you can't sell.
Yeah.
Never a sell in it. People paid to go to the course, they get the course. There's nothing else after that. So,
Yeah.
and it's
I love
kind of a
that.
different concept.
Yeah. I love that too. And it just really just talks to, that you're really trying to help as many people as possible and make a little bit of money along the way to cover your costs and put a little bit of money in your pocket, but not trying to, rake people over the coals, which I mean, I've paid $50,000 for mentoring programs and I can't tell you that I received any relationships from it or meaningful relationships. Some knowledge, was it worth $50,000? I would say probably not. But again, I jumped in there. I did it. I now am smarter about picking who and what kind of programs I want to be part of. And that just it matters.
And the education was worth something. I bought mine earlier than you did. Mine was 35. It went up to 50 just after that. I paid 35,000 for my education in 2020. I'm sorry, 2013. And was it worth it? It was. Was it more than it should have been? It was, right? But I look at it, I did my first deal. I'd have never been able to do my first deal if I hadn't gone to that class.
Yeah.
And I made roughly $122,000, 916 cents. But anyway, roughly $123,000 off of that deal. That was take home before taxes.
Yeah.
So was it worth the 35? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Should it have been 5? Probably. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. So, hey, Bill, if our listeners and viewers want to hear more about your program, tell them how they can get in touch with you so they can just be aware of what you're coming out with and the timeline of that.
Sure. We have a lot of stuff coming down the road. You can feel free to email me, bill@hookedupproperties.com. Actually, why don't you go to my training site, bill@professional-is.com. Professional-is for investor system, professional-is.com. So just Bill.
Awesome.
At professional-is. And so you can feel free to email me. That'll come right to me, come right to my phone. You can also go to professional-is.com and look at what we have out there. Know that it's a work in progress. We're not ready yet. We have done 4 workshops, of the 3-day workshops. So
Awesome.
we are doing those. The next one that we want to do is in Dallas. So we want to do Dallas. We want to do Austin. We want to do Denver, and then maybe Atlanta. So we want to do this, but we're not going to be ready to do another one until the first part of the year. We don't do them that often.
Okay. Well, that's good.
They're a lot of work.
When you have too many too fast, then. So thank you for joining us and for sharing all the knowledge about the 5 pillars of real estate, your book, and just letting our different investors that are listening or watching this that you will have some kind of program for no matter where you are in the process, if you're beginning or if you're established or want to take your business to the next level. So we appreciate that. And my hat goes off to you, Bill. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure. I enjoy talking to you. We'll have to do this again sometime, but thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to your viewers and maybe helping them out. Anybody needs some help, give me a call.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.